What's going on, guys? It is Pete Nova here with the Face Off Sports Network. I'm going to do a short live today, talk about a little bit of my favorite bets going into Thursday's games, as well as just do some start sit questions, help you guys out making those lineup decisions. Not really in my usual space today, at my in-laws, and don't really have the setup, so just bear with me. But yeah, gonna just jump right into it. As the questions start to come in, we'll start to answer them. But looking at today's game, you have the Chiefs taking on the Raiders. Patrick Mahomes in this Kansas City offense, they have been heating up as of late. They're getting their guys back. The defense got a little bit kicked in the teeth last week against the Panthers, but just one of those games where you feel like a team maybe takes its opponent lightly. And so I think that's a little bit of what we saw last week. But DeAndre Hopkins is starting to heat up in this offense. Looks like Isaiah Pacheco is going to play today, which is good news for owners that held him. It's probably not good for owners that are, Kareem Hunt, fans or owners, because his value is probably going to be dropping. Not sure what to expect of him going forward. Maybe it's a split backfield. Maybe they ease Pacheco in. So we'll kind of monitor that and see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for popping in on the holiday if you are watching. And yeah, Kevin said thanks for coming on. Of course, Out of Rhythm is here. Said this is why you always have a decent mic to carry with you. Yeah, I didn't expect to go live, but we had a good turnout last night, on Wednesday and yesterday morning. So figured, why not pop on here and answer some questions that you guys might have. So anything you guys have, feel free to drop them below. A recap of yesterday's games. Defensively, Detroit Lions were one of my favorite plays of the week. They started off strong, but Caleb Williams and the Bears offense got moving in the second half, and the Lions got a couple sacks there, didn't really get the turnovers we were looking for. Caleb's held, he's protected the ball really well. I think he had hit the record for most passing attempts without an interception. But Dallas Cowboys special teams, if you played them, that was my fourth favorite defense on the week. They're my favorite stream of the week as well. There was risk there, but it paid off. This defense for the Cowboys and special teams had a touchdown, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks coming into the week. They get another one yesterday, marking them off at 4. So it was a good matchup, and people that started them were probably pretty happy. We look at this game, the game last night, Jaden Reed owners, volatile offense. The Packers, their pass catchers have been kind of frustrating. We're not really sure who's going to get the ball in this offense on any given week. Josh Jacobs is the only consistent guy in this offense right now. Jaden Reed scores 2 touchdowns last night, though, and those who have been struggling with him, he paid off last night. And if you watch the show on Wednesday night, I did say that put me down for a Jaden Reed game. I just felt like it was coming for him with Romeo Doubs out, and it paid off. So we do have some questions that are loading into the chat. So let's just kind of jump into them. And anything you have, I'm here to answer. I'll probably be on for 45 minutes to an hour. We'll see how the chat goes and how many questions come in, and we'll just kind of roll with it today. So let's get right here. Ben Nagayan said, "Happy belated Thanksgiving. Thoughts on Pacheco or Addison in non-PPR?" Yeah, I mean, if you check the Vegas lines, Pacheco is the most juiced player to score a touchdown today. So Vegas doesn't seem to think that he's going to be eased into the game plan. They think he's the most likely guy to score today in the game. So if you're looking for a safer play, Pacheco probably is that guy. Now, Jordan Addison last week was phenomenal. But keep in mind that, this Arizona defense has really held quarterbacks in check. I'm probably going to take a look at Sam Darnold's yards prop because they haven't really been giving up much to quarterbacks in fantasy. And the same can be said to wide receivers over the last few weeks. So I probably would lean Isaiah Pacheco. I'd roll the dice today. Chiefs were smacked in the mouth last year on the holiday, and I feel like they're probably going to come out pretty fired up. And it's a home game for them. So I lean Pacheco there. Albert's in the house. What's up, Albert? Thanks for dropping in, man. Mark said Dalton Kincaid is out again and has been underwhelming for fantasy. Bad idea to drop him and roll with Disley rest of the season, half PPR. Um, yeah, I mean, I can understand dropping him. He's out today. He's missed, I think, the last two games. Maybe this might be his third. I'd have to look. I don't have all my equipment in front of me right now. I do have my phone here as like a second screen. But overall, I do like Will Disley rest of the season over Dalton Kincaid. And it just depends on your roster construction. If you're on the fringe to make the playoffs right now, then totally fine with it. Will Disley does have a tough matchup this week. The Chargers, their offense goes up against the Falcons, who, they're kind of middle-ish of the pack when it comes to tight ends. But if you're a fringe playoff team, I have no issue dropping Kincaid because you need to win. And guys on IR are not going to, they're not going to get you there. If you have an IR spot, slot them in, but it doesn't sound like you do, or it's filled up. And so, yeah, I'm totally fine with it. I don't think it's a bad move at all, especially if it's half PPR. We do have a super chat here from Serge. Appreciate that. Thank you for dropping in on the holiday. $5 super chat. He said, Flex one, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ramondre Stevenson, full PPR. They both have great matchups. Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson goes up against the Colts. Colts defense has tightened up a little bit over the last few weeks. They're getting better. From the EPA standpoint, they're like top 10 since like week 7, I want to say. Again, don't have all my equipment in front of me, but they've been low key playing better. Now, when you look at the matchup for Marvin Harrison, he goes up against the Vikings, and that's a juicy matchup as well. I know Marv has been underwhelming. It's a toss-up here, but to me, if you want the safer play, it's Ramondre Stevenson in a matchup that has been good this season against the Colts. If you want the upside, to me, it's Marvin Harrison. I think, Marv has a good matchup against the Vikings. That defense hasn't been great. You looked at the week prior, last week against the Bears, Keenan Allen got peppered with targets, caught a lot of passes. DJ Moore had a good game. I think I lean Marv here. If you're going for upside, I would go Ramondre Stevenson for the floor. Thank you for dropping in with the super chat and coming here for the holidays. Again, as always, guys, if you're new, super chats, you jump the line. If you don't have time to sit here and wait till I get to you, as well as, we get a lot of questions here. So trying our best to get to everyone, but feel free to drop in, $2 super, dollar super, whatever you have. And I'm happy to answer you as a priority to get you out. So maybe you can go spend your money Black Friday shopping if you don't have time to sit here with me. Let's move on here. And I think we got Jose up next. He said, David Njoku or Taysom Hill, Khalil Shakir or Juwan Jennings. Yeah, I mean, I think you ride the hot hand with Taysom Hill right now. The Browns play the Broncos. It's going to be a cold matchup. It's a low point total in this game, and Taysom Hill's just been really hot. So, I don't think this offense is going to slow down when it comes to using him. He gets the Rams this week, so I lean Taysom Hill. And then from a standpoint from Khalil Shakir and Juwan Jennings, the Bills have been a stingy matchup over the course of the season. They've gotten softer the last few weeks against wide receivers, but Khalil Shakir, and we don't know the status of Brock Purdy. So that this might be one of those where you come back on Sunday morning and you get a different answer because we're told Brock Purdy's playing. But with no Dalton Kincaid, I leaned Khalil Shakir here because from a security blanket standpoint, I think Shakir is pretty much the the cog in the offense that gets things going without Dalton Kincaid. Those are their two chain movers pretty much at the wide receiver position. So I would go Shakir and Taysom Hill. Thanks for dropping in, Jose. Appreciate it. Hope your holiday's well. Jeffrey Gross said, is Debo a starting option or is he a bench until proven again? Also, I'm carrying 3 tight ends, Disley, Andrews, Hawkinson. Should I play all 3 or just 2 and flex Gus or Vele or put Debo back in? Um, yeah, I mean, uh, it's tough to sit Hawkinson. A lot of his points did come at the end of the game in overtime last week. Mark Andrews, I mean, he's a completely different guy in the second half this year. Ravens offense in general has been phenomenal. They get the Eagles. It's a tough defensive matchup, but I expect points in this game. So I want Mark Andrews and Hawkinson in my lineup. I think I benched Disley for Debo Samuel. I know it's not sexy right now with Debo. I know he's been frustrating. I like Devon Vele, but he hasn't. This offense hasn't been great against man coverage. They get a lot of zone the last few weeks, and Vele is not great against man coverage. And the Browns are third when it comes to man coverage, I believe. So I would lean Debo, Hawkinson, and Andrews. Gus, you're really probably just banking that he scores a touchdown. But I would go those 3. I know it's been frustrating with Debo Samuel. I get it. But I think you ride with him this week. This offense, they got to find a way to get him involved, and they could be playing from behind. I know that narrative didn't help out last week, but I'm going to ride with Debo here and Hawkinson and Andrews. Thanks for jumping in. TD said, James Conner with the volume against a stout defense, or Bucky Irving in a possible timeshare against Carolina. Bucky Irving comfortably for me. Vikings are number 1 in stuff rate, and Bucky Irving, Carolina has given up 4 times this season. They've had 2 running backs score double-digit fantasy points on them in a game. They've also given up 20 or more points in 6 games this year. I don't have all my stuff in front of me, but that is one that I know because I did a video earlier this week. I love Bucky Irving against this Carolina defense that's been putrid against running backs. And even in a timeshare, he did get, I think, 32 snaps last week to Rachaad White's 28. So I'm going to go with Bucky Irving here. Appreciate you jumping in, TD. Good to see you, man. We do have another super chat from Mr. Trescero Cinco, $5 super. Appreciate you coming in, man. So with T-Law coming back this week, would you roll with BTJ or Pacheco coming back from his injury? It's a full point PPR. Thank you. I like BTJ a lot this week. Mac Jones, the first time that he played, BTJ didn't have a great game, and then we saw him have a strong outing, like a 10-point game. I think he had like 60 yards or so. But yeah, against this Texans defense, who they've been very good, but they give up a lot of chunk plays to wide receivers, and that's Brian Thomas Jr.'s specialty. He had a great game against them last time. And if Trevor Lawrence is back, which it seems like it's trending that way, give me Brian Thomas Jr. for the upside. If you're looking for a safer play, go roll with Pacheco. I always tell people, look at the projections. I never rely on the projections, but you can kind of tell, hey, if you have a really good shot to win this week and you're not, in a tight matchup, probably go with the safer play. But I like BTJ in a vacuum over Pacheco this week. I'm willing to roll the dice there, but I think Pacheco could have a good week. Thank you for the super chat. I think you've sent in a super chat before. If not, appreciate you donating and jumping in on this holiday. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. And no super chats right now, so we're just going to go back to where we left off. Jeffrey Gross said Taysom Hill is a must start. I feel, absolutely. I think you got to start Taysom Hill. He's just been on fire. So I would roll with Taysom Hill for sure if you have him. Steve said, which player may be a surprisingly low disappointment? Yeah, this week I it's funny that we talk about like this 49ers team and how they've been playing. It would be easy to say Debo, as I just suggested to start him. I still like Debo over Disley. Somebody to disappoint this week, I think, at the quarterback position would be Geno Smith. I think this Jets defense is going to get to him. He was sacked 5 times last week, and this offense is just playing really sloppy. Jets got coming off of a bye, and I think Geno Smith is going to be in for a tough day. Thanks for jumping in, Steve. Lex Diamond said, pick two: JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr., or T. Higgins. Got to start T. Higgins at this point. From an average standpoint, he's in the top 10 for points per game. I don't care what the matchup is. The way they're using him, you pretty much got to start him. Give me 1 second. And then between JSN and Marv, um, I think I lean Marv here. I know JSN's been on a heater. Marv gets a really good matchup against the Vikings, and I feel like every time I bet against JSN, he's had a really good week. So could blow up in my face here, but Marv gets a good matchup. Jets are a stingy pass defense. I know they've had their struggles at times, but again, coming off a bye, I think I lean Marvin Higgins here. Jose coming back in and said Steelers or Commanders defense this week. Yeah, I mean, I have the Commanders as my 8th ranked defense this week. Steelers are outside of my top 12. I think they're around 13 for me. So I would go with the Commanders in this matchup. The Titans give up the most fantasy points to opposing defenses this year. They're averaging like 10 points to defenses, which might not sound, 10 points might not sound sexy, but that's like average. Like that's a baseline floor. I'm not saying they're going to get you 10 points, but pretty much that's what they've been good for in terms of giving up to opposing defenses. So, yeah, I like the Commanders this week. Phil coming in said Ladd or JSN this week. Yeah, I mean, Ladd was a little bit disappointing last week. He had a solid game. He goes up against the Falcons. And then you have JSN. This Falcons defense hasn't been good at all. Cortland Sutton and the Broncos beat up on them. I'm going to go with Ladd here. Again, another situation where I'm going against JSN. I just don't think that Seattle offense is in for a good day. And I like the matchup more for Ladd here. Jeffrey Gross said, is Hunt a wait and see play or is he usable? I feel like he isn't going to disappear from the offense. I don't think he's going to disappear either. I think they recognize that like they're going to want Pacheco, good for the playoffs. And Hunt's a guy they picked up off the street. So I don't think it's going to be like a 50-50. But I think it's probably close to like maybe like a 65 to 35 split is what I would say. I think you're holding Hunt until we see something with Pacheco because Pacheco might not be the same guy. At least coming back, from an injury like that, we saw like Tony Pollard last year. It took him a year after that injury to his ankle, to play well. I do think Pacheco is going to be good rest of the season here. But yeah, I think you're keeping Hunt until we see how this offense starts to kind of work itself out. Jose said, you think Tom Robinson will play this week? I think he's going to play. I do think he's going to play. I think this is a big game for Washington this week. It's Titans and they're not great, but I mean, it's Commanders team, they lose, they fall to 7-6. That NFC, seeding starts to get closer, and this offense has been sputtering a little bit. I would be hesitant to start Brian Robinson this week. I really don't want to start him this week, but I think he plays. Jeffrey said, I think Marv is due for a big game. Honestly, both guys have been so up and down. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we're going to get a good game from Marv. I worry about Kyler. I'm not excited to start Kyler, though I have to start him in a few leagues. I'm not excited about it though, but I think Marv is in for a solid game. It's a good matchup. All right, we got here plus sign. I don't know. I don't know what your name is, but said Stafford, Levis, or Jaden Daniels this week. This is interesting. It's closer than you would think. Levis gets a really good matchup against a not bad. Um, they're getting better, the Commanders' defense, but they are leaky, and they do give up big plays at times. Now, when you look at Stafford, he's going up against the Saints. I would rank it Jaden Daniels highest upside. Stafford is probably the safest play with a good floor. Stafford's been playing really well. He gets a Saints defense who hasn't is not very good. They're playing better as of late, but Stafford would be the safe play. Levis would be like more of like a semi upside, but possibly low floor. So I think it's probably between Jaden Daniels and Stafford. If you're open to more risk, go with Jaden Daniels. I mean, look at Daniels. He didn't have a good game last week until like 7, 8 minutes left in the game, where Terry McLaurin kind of bailed him out on an 85-yard catch and run for a touchdown. So that's kind of my lean there. And yeah, I mean, just depends on your risk tolerance. My fiance is Black Friday shopping, and she wants to buy a TV. Let me just mute my notifications here, guys. Again, apologize. I am not in my normal, uh, not in my normal setup. I'm at family today. All right, let's see. Stephen McMahon said looking for a good flex option. Pacheco, Ramondre, Khalil Shakir, or Addison. Many thanks and happy belated Thanksgiving. Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate you coming in. You've become a regular in here, and we appreciate your support. Yeah, I mean, I think it's between Ramondre and Pacheco for me. Um, like I said, Pacheco, Vegas has him as the most likely guy to score a touchdown today. So I could see rolling with Pacheco in this matchup against the uh, not a great run defense. Now they did hold Denver in check last week. Javonte Williams had, I think, -8 rushing yards. I got to stop buying into him. I mean, I am a Broncos fan, but yeah, I mean, I think Ramondre and Pacheco have similar floors. I think I would go with Ramondre here. It's close. I don't mind Khalil Shakir, but I don't want to start Jordan Addison. I think it's between Pacheco and Ramondre. Sometimes when it's close, especially a day like today when it's one game, I'll be honest. Sometimes if it's close, I just play the guy that's playing in the prime time slot. Sometimes I know it's a daytime game, but prime time, these guys, when they know all eyes are watching, they tend to show out. So yeah, I mean, it's all about your tolerance. I think Pacheco probably scores today. I think Ramondre's probably has the higher upside. And I think Pacheco has the better floor just because I think he scores and he's on a better offense, where I do think this Colts defense might sneakily give the Patriots a little bit of trouble this week. But yeah, thank you for popping in. And like I said, guys, we're backed up, but I'm going to try to get to as many as I can here. And we'll just keep rolling. I do want to check out, like I said, send in a super chat if you want to jump the line. I do want to check this message out for my fiance. Just 1 second. We're looking to buy a TV this Black Friday. I need a new one for the bedroom. Interesting. TCL 65-inch for $228. Not bad. Not really a big fan of the TCLs. And they also have a Hisense. I don't really like the Hisenses. 228 is not a bad deal for the TCL Smart TV. All right. Just had to get that off. If you guys are Black Friday shopping, enjoy yourselves today. Black Friday, the holiday, is not the same as it used to be, man. I mean, the deals aren't the same. I miss going out with my parents like 1 a.m. I'm sure the people that work on Black Friday enjoy this holiday a little bit more than they used to. They probably get time and a half too. I used to be a retail worker, so I used to get time and a half. I don't know if they still do that, but anyway. Chef Phil said JSN or Lad, full PPR, some bonuses for scoring big plays. Yeah, I answered this before, but I like Lad. I like Lad. KJ Frederick said, "What's up, everyone? Better full PPR start, Garrett Wilson or Juwan Jennings?" I'm going Garrett Wilson. I know a lot of people are off of him. He's been consistent this year. The matchup is not necessarily great, but they're coming off of a bye. And Juwan Jennings, I don't know what to expect with the 49ers this week. I think Brock Purdy's playing. But the Bills have been stingy against wide receivers. And so I'm just going to go with the better player in Garrett Wilson here. Hunt over Pacheco today, PPR. No, I'm going to go with Pacheco. I think both guys have a chance to score today. Vegas has, I think, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt actually may be the second highest odds to score today. Kareem Hunt is minus 105 and Pacheco is minus 110. So pretty dead even from Vegas there. Vegas doesn't seem like they know what to expect. I'm curious to see the rushing props. You like to use Vegas. Kareem Hunt's 44 and a half yards and Pacheco's 43 and a half. Receiving, I got to think that Kareem Hunt's probably got a higher receiving line. Let's see. They don't have a line out for receptions. They don't have a line out for receiving yards either for either of these running backs. But I would go with Pacheco if it was me. Jared King said Garrett Wilson or Darnell Mooney this week. Mooney's coming off of that hamstring injury. He gets a tough matchup like Garrett Wilson. Chargers defense has been good against wide receivers. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson here. Brunson Burner said sit Njoku or Goddard. Well, Ravens defense has been kind of leaky to the tight end position this year. When taking a look, I mean, Goddard, Devonta Smith is back. Njoku, I think that offense could have issues, but I do think Jameis Winston's going to air it out. I'm going to go with Njoku here. I'll roll the dice with Njoku in that matchup. I'm just pulling up my I don't have a second screen, but I am trying to pull things up in the background. Like I said, I'm limited on my technology today, guys. All right, let's see. Jay Stacks said PPR running back room in shambles. Start 2, Hunt, B-Rob, Spears, McNichols, Vidal. Give me Hunt and B-Rob. If B-Rob doesn't play, give me McNichols. I like Vidal. It's interesting. The coaches seem to if you're into the coach speak, Greg Roman did say that that they trust Vidal. I don't know how much they trust him, when he's pretty much been down when the room is healthy. So I'm going to go and roll the dice with B-Rob and Hunt. It is risky, but I'm going to go with those two guys who have proven it. And again, if B-Rob's out, I'm going to start McNichols and Hunt. So Ben Nagayan coming back in with another question said, is Tyreek a fringe wide receiver 2 going forward? We should just play the matchups. Yeah, I'm probably just playing the matchups with Tyreek. Something's wrong with this offense. There's something to be said, when Tua was out, they couldn't even find ways to get the ball into Tyreek's hands and the playmakers. They have probably some of they have the best yards after catch players, and they couldn't even scheme up easy plays for them to I get it. The quarterback situation wasn't ideal, but you're probably just playing the matchups going forward. Chef Phil said Nix or Kyler. I'm going to go with Bo Nix. I know there was a question. I think it was Jose who said, you think Bo Nix will play? Bo Nix is going to play. He was limited yesterday. He's not questionable, though, because you got to keep in mind they play on Monday. So, him being limited either yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, they have a longer week. It's not a mini bye, but they get an extra day of rest. And so, he did pull his back, it looked like, on the touchdown throw to Sutton in the back of the end zone. But I would go with him. I really, really don't like Kyler this week at all. So I would go with Nix. Andres Barrientos said Lamar, Gibbs, K9, Chase, Jettas, Amon-Ra, TJ Hawkinson, 12-man PPR, 7-5. Any ideas? Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, it's kind of hard. I don't know how many you can start. If I'm assuming it's two wide receivers, two running backs, and a flex. Um, I mean, that's pretty much what we have right there. If you have lineup questions, Andres, send it back to me. If you want me to rate your team's great. I mean, to be 7-5 is actually kind of crazy to me. This is a phenomenal team, and it's in a 12-man PPR. Ride it out, man. 7-5. If I'm looking at that team in my league, I mean, that would be a team I definitely do not want to play in the playoffs for sure. You got a good team there. Um, Mr. Magic, I don't know if Brock or Brees are playing. Yeah, I mean, I think Purdy's going to play, and Brees looks like he's trending to play. I mean, if you follow some of the injury doctors on Twitter, I'm not a doctor. He did log a practice yesterday. That's good news. And it was kind of weird with him though. I mean, like they have a bye week, and then he pops up on the injury report. But I think both guys are going to play. I think the 49ers know the magnitude of this game for them this week. It's pretty much their season. Ron, what's up, man? Said Kyler Murray. What are your thoughts with him rest of the season? I love his playoff schedule. Love Kyler's playoff schedule. If you look at what they have, I mean, this is a he should perform very well for fantasy down the stretch in the playoffs. So I like that matchup, those matchups for him. I mean, I love the Cardinals defense too. If you're streaming defenses, go ahead and stash them. I did do a video on some defenses to stash for the playoffs. Cardinals have a good schedule at the end of the season. L Plus said Flowers or Shakir this week. With no Dalton Kincaid, I can understand going Shakir. Just gonna go with the better player here. Flowers gets the Eagles. The Eagles have been good against wide receivers. Puka did have a good week last week, and so did Cooper Kupp, though. I think that statistic it's a little skewed because they didn't play a ton of really good teams outside of the Bengals in that stretch where they held a lot of receivers in fantasy to really low lines. And even that Commanders game, I mean, the Commanders offense has not looked like themselves the last few weeks. So I know Terry was kind of locked up. I'm going to go with Flowers. It's risky. If you want a safer play, I would go with Shakir because I think he's going to be getting volume. I think if I had to guess, Shakir probably catches 5 or 6 passes this week. Now probably 5 or 6 for like 60 yards, 10 points. That's what you're looking for, okay. But that's probably what I would expect from Shakir. He's probably a decent flex play, but I'd probably start Flowers. Scott said Pittman Jr. or K9 in the flex. Yeah, I mean, the Jets defense has been not great this year. I do like them this week in fantasy though as a stream. Pittman. The reason why this is tough for me is it's not even really that tough. I'll go Michael Pittman Jr. I have not advocated to start him much this year, but okay, maybe I'll provide a caveat if there's no Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr. I don't expect Josh Downs to play. Doolin, who's another one of their like 4th, 5th, 6th receiver, he looks like he's not going to play, and the Patriots are a really good matchup for wide receivers. Mr. Magic said, I couldn't trade either one. So do I play JSN or DK full PPR? I would go with DK. Reason being, the Jets have some bigger corners, and that could be more trouble for JSN. DK, bigger receiver, probably matches up a little bit better against them. So I would go with DK. And you said, or should I play Taysom Hill over any of these two? You know what? It's tough, man. My mind's telling me to stay with DK, but my heart's telling me Taysom Hill. I think if you want the upside, go Taysom Hill. If you're looking for the better floor with upside, I would go with DK. I think if you're looking for the bigger upside play, it's Taysom Hill this week in that matchup. Capo, thanks for waiting. Said MVS or Nick Westbrook Akine. Give me Nick Westbrook Akine, man. he's scoring touchdowns. Now, MVS has played well last 2 weeks. He's played well. I don't know if they had a bye last week. I don't think they did. But MVS has been playing well. But Westbrook Ikine is scoring touchdowns, and that Commanders secondary gives up some decent chunk plays to the wide receiver position. So I'd go with Nick Westbrook Ikine, honestly. Jose, yep, I answered that. Bo Nix will play. No worries there. Mr. Magic said JD over Kyler. Yes. Yep. JD over Kyler. Matt Tate said, appreciate the Cowboys defense. Yeah, man. Thanks for trusting me. With your questions and defenses have been a sweet spot for me this year. So yeah, appreciate your trust there. I started them everywhere. So definitely probably a potential week winner. Mr. Magic said Black Friday deals are not good anymore. Yeah, no, I agree. Ben agrees as well. Yeah, it's not the same, man. I just do. I mean, Amazon starts doing Black Friday deals like a week before Black Friday. It's like it's just not the same anymore. Half the time you get better deals closer to Christmas and when Christmas is over because the newer models for everything come out, and so the older models from the year before end up being cheaper. So Matt said someone dropped Houston defense. We're going to pick them up. If not, would you go New York Jets or Indy defense? Yeah, if you can't get the Houston defense, I would go with the Jets. I'm just going to roll with the numbers here. Home team, giving up a lot of pressure. This Seattle offensive line. Gino was sacked 5 times last week. I think he was pressured like almost 12. And that offense has been a little bit sloppy, and the Jets are coming off a bye. So I would go with the Jets if Houston is not available. And just to ensure that I am making sure I'm sticking to my rankings, I do have Houston at 2 this week. Now, probably might move them back. I'm not going to lie to you. I might move them like probably more at 6 and probably bump the Jets down to 7. And then the Colts are 8 for me. Because, with Trevor Lawrence playing, I don't know. It's tricky, man. Houston does get a lot of pressures too, though. Luico Rinaldi said half PPR sit 1 Marvin Harrison Jr., BTJ Jennings. I'm sitting Jennings. I like BTJ this week. Houston gives up a lot of chunk plays to wide receivers. So yeah, that would be my role there. Just appreciate you jumping in. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so that would be my lean. Chris coming in said kicker advice: Koo, Bass, Romo, or Wright this week. Not gonna lie, Chris, I am not the best kicker guy. Hoff on our channel does a kicker video every week. I think he likes Tyler Bass this week. So yeah, I mean, if I'm leaning anyway, I guess Bass, but I would go check out his video and even drop a comment in there underneath in case his feelings on any of those guys have changed. But that would be my lean if I had to pick one as of today. It'd probably be Tyler Bass. But yeah, thanks for jumping in. Love this name. We talked about this last time. I'm just going to call you Steven Schneider. Hopkins or Brian Thomas Jr. in the flex. Thanks. Greetings from Germany. Yes. Thank you so much for jumping in. Love seeing people from all across the world jumping in for my fantasy advice. So yeah, I mean, Hopkins is coming along. I actually have him to score a touchdown today. I think it's plus 196 on sportsbooks. BTJ provides more upside in my opinion, but Hopkins is probably safer. And I think he still provides a decent floor as well. So that would be my lean there. I do want to say, if you guys haven't liked the show, go ahead and do so. Helps us out, keep the lights on, and just helps us on YouTube and getting us in front of more people. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. All right, so let's see, what else do we have? Russell Dean, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate your interactions on Twitter. Very supportive. Said JSN Hillad, PPR wide receiver 2. Interesting, because we're getting this question again from somebody else. Seems like a common one here. I would go with Lad over JSN this week. Matt Tate said Drake London or Garrett Wilson. Give me Drake London this week. Just want to look at the matchup here. I mean, I know he gets the Chargers. He's been good though. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm just taking a look at my phone to see what the matchups are. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna roll with Drake London, just the better offense overall. I trust them more, so give me Drake London. I might be stupid. All right, said 12 team PPR. I have Pitts, and should I trade Hubbard for McBride? Would leave me with Gus, Haskins, Benson, Roshan. I don't know who cost. I think you might have made a mistake. Um, is the upgrade worth it? McBride has 0 touchdowns. Your running back room is pretty light, my friend. That is a atrocious running back room. No, I would not do that trade at all. I know it took me a little longer to get that out. Just reading through it, I'm actually in shock that this is your running back room, man. I don't know. Things must have went south. It's not worth the upgrade. I like Trey McBride a lot, and I think it is a good upgrade. But with this running back room, you can't risk that. I think Hubbard's going to continue to be involved. Jennings or Pacheco from Dylan, PPR. Pacheco for me. Brunson Burner, Connor, Braylon Pending, Brees, or Pacheco. Give me Pacheco. Matt, Pittman or BTJ in the flex. Pittman if Downs doesn't play. BTJ if Downs is in. Fire Titan said Mahomes or Burrow. Give me Mahomes this week over Burrow. I just want to take a look at that matchup really quick for the Bengals. They're going up against the Steelers. Divisional games are always a little tricky. I know Mahomes has a divisional game too, but I just have a good feeling that Mahomes is going to have at least 2 touchdowns and probably like 250 today. He's going to give a decent fantasy outing. So I would go with Mahomes. Jose said need one flex. Shakir or Brian Robinson. Give me Shakir this week. Oscar O, Garrett Wilson or Hopkins full PPR. Yeah, give me DeAndre Hopkins this week. Angelo said I have Romo. I don't know if you asked the question, was that a quicker question before? I'm not sure what that's in regards to, but okay. I guess you have the kicker Romo from the Vikings. Silver Rapture said the Bills game is supposed to be a snowstorm. Yes, it is. I do want to avoid Jennings. I don't mind Debo even if with the snow, because the way him and McCaffrey are similar. Like they can get him the ball short passing and just let them go. And I got this question yesterday on Twitter, but ironically, like snow games benefit offenses more in some ways because the receivers know where they're going. Defenses are all reactionary. So like you're backpedaling and you don't know where the wide receiver's going. So, a quick move to react like sometimes has you on your heels because of the slipperiness and stuff. It's much easier as a wide receiver to know where you're going. Now, with that being said, defenses that are physical tend to have the advantage because offensive players don't want to get hit when it's cold and shitty out. Jared King said Russell Wilson or Kyler. Yeah, give me Russ. Give me Russ against. It's crazy I'm saying that, I know, but give me Russ. I'm kind of worried about Kyler. I am. I'm not worried about Marv, but I do worry about Kyler a little bit. Silver Rapture said Mahomes or Jaden Daniels 6-point passing touchdowns. Give me Mahomes this week. Give me Mahomes. Angelo said Orange San Francisco at Buffalo. The biggest problem here is the snow. Oh, okay, you're probably responding to somebody else. Got it. 2 feet of snow. I didn't know that it was expected to get that much. Yeah, so maybe a Tyler Bass question. Maybe pivot there, and like I said, go into our archives. Hoff does a kicker video. Drop him a question. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Commanders over Bucks. Yes, I like the Commanders defense over the Bucks this week. Commanders are my defense number 8 this week, and the Bucks are my 12th ranked defense this week. All right, what do we got? Silver Rapture said pick one RB, a flex PPR. B Rob, Warren, Gus, Flowers, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Gus Edwards is the safest play. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Gus over B Rob. Both guys, you're really just hoping for a touchdown. That's really it. They're not going to be catching many passes. I'm going to go with Gus, and then Flowers or Marv. Give me Marv. Let's see. Horror fanatic Lance said, "You think Purdy plays?" I do. They really need to win this week, and he's been practicing, so I just have a feeling that he's going to play. Russell Dean said, "Thank you, boss. Appreciate and enjoy the show." Yeah, thanks for dropping in. Let's see. King J, Adonai Mitchell or Jennings? Give me Adonai Mitchell. If the weather's going to be this bad, I think I prefer Adonai if Josh Downs doesn't play. Now, if Josh Downs is playing, give me Jennings. Celtic, is Hunt a safe start this week? I wouldn't say safe, but I think the floor is there. He's the most juiced player to score a touchdown on Vegas this week. I need Jennings, but will Purdy play? I think he's going to play. I'm not expecting a big game from Javon Jennings, though. Matt Tate, not sure how I feel about Gibbs' performance. Also, swifted fairly well versus the Lions' defense. Thoughts? Gibbs, if I love David Montgomery, probably my favorite running back in the NFL. Dude is tough. He just gets the job done. Now, with that being said, if Gibbs had this backfield to himself, I mean, you'd be talking about the 101, I think, next year. He is electric. There's nobody right now in the NFL, in my opinion, that does more with less touches. And that's above A-Chain as well. He's a better runner than A-Chain. Now, Swift has a tough matchups rest of season. He did salvage his day. He didn't do a ton on the ground, but he did work himself out of some tough situations. That defense really penetrated that offensive line, but he caught some passes that really salvaged his day. So yeah, thanks for the question, Matt. Silver Rapture come and said, "I agree. The offense has an advantage in the snow." I was mentioning it because of Tyler Bass' question. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really. I don't do enough research on the kickers to give my opinion strongly. That's why I would ask Hoff on his kicker video. Just drop a question. He answers them all the time. He makes sure he gets to everybody. Start Bowers or Kittle? I like Bowers today. I do. Aiden O'Connell tends to lock on to one target, and Bowers has like 700 yards this year. So pretty sure he's in like the top 20 for yards with wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, everybody. So give me Brock Bowers. I like Kittle. Kittle's been phenomenal, but the snow, the uncertainty. I don't mind Kittle this week, but I just really, really like Brock Bowers this week. Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield? Baker. Yeah, give me Baker against Carolina. Sorry, I'm just checking matchups again. I don't have both screens today because I'm at my family's house. So I just want to make sure I am taking a look. But yeah, I like Baker Mayfield. He's just been on fire, man. Top 5 defenses this week. Yeah. Broncos number 1. Texans are number 2. We'll see what happens if Lawrence is in or out. Kansas City Chiefs number 3. Dallas Cowboys 4. And the Lions 5. I can't move. The way Fantasy Pros works, when you do their rankings, once the games play, they're locked in. I did post on Twitter, and you can go back in the archives for proof. I did have Dallas Cowboys as number 4, and they were my favorite streamer on the week. If you started them, they were phenomenal. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them into my defense video and go back. And yeah, TD said, "Thanks for the DST rankings. Hit with Dallas yesterday in one league. One last one, Flex Njoku or Westbrook Akine in PPR." They're both really close. Give me Njoku though. I don't love the matchup for him, but I prefer I prefer Ninjoku. My niece is trying to get into the room here. Um, Matt Tate said DK might miss this week. Yeah, I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna play. Hang on. You want to say hi to the live stream?
Wait, what are you
There's
doing?
some people watching. Just say hello. All right.
And did you see the letter I gave
Yeah,
you?
you want to show them? You want to show them?
Here, I gave you.
Oh, Broncos helmet, nice. And what do you got here? Look at that.
No, the back.
Oh,
I made
beautiful.
it.
She made it. Wow, you drew this?
No, I stickered it.
You stickered it. Okay. All right. Well, I will keep this. I will be done in a little bit. Okay. No, just give me a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll play hide and seek in a little bit.
Love you.
All right. Love you
Love
too.
you.
Just shut the door. Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
And those signs are still up.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Sorry guys. All right. Ben said, I noticed Carolina defense often seems better as of late. Would you avoid streaming defenses against them? Offense, yes. Yeah, I have the Bucks ranked as 12 this week. They're fringe top 10, top 12, like a DST1 this week, I guess. I'm not in love. They did lose their starting safety Whitehead. So I do have concerns as to how that back end is going to look. And it is a depleted defense, but I wouldn't really. I want to see how this week shakes out because they still do have some good matchups on the schedule. So it'll be a case by case basis, but yeah, just keep watching my videos weekly, and I'll help navigate through those. Horror Fanatic said Walker or Pollard. I'm gonna like Pollard this week. That volume's good, going up against a good matchup against the Commanders defense. So yeah, give me Tony Pollard over Kenneth Walker this week. Matt said confused. Does Chubb have a favorable matchup versus the Broncos? I don't think so. You got to keep in mind, like Chubb scored 2 touchdowns last week. One of them practically they let him into the end zone at the end of the game to get the ball back. Just one of those things with clock management. It looked like they weren't even trying to tackle him, and he wasn't very good. I'm not in love with the matchup for Chubb. I don't really want to start Chubb this week. Let's see. Mark said very cute. Yes, appreciate it. Yes, I know it's good. I mean, with the holidays and everything, like I said, I'm in a little bit more not in my normal area, but it's good to spend some time with family. So I'm happy to get recharges my batteries. I guess that's the best way to put it when I get to be around my niece and my family. So Dante said start Taysom Hill or T.J. Hawkinson. Give me Taysom Hill. Give me. Okay, I would say Taysom Hill for upside. I would say Hawkinson for a safer floor. So if you're swinging for upside, depending on your matchup, start Taysom Hill. If you prefer a safer floor, safer play, I think Hawkinson provides that, but he still provides upside as well. Silver Rapture said start both Garrett Wilson and Adams for the combined total or bench one for Marv. I would bench Adams for Marv. I like Garrett Wilson. He's been consistent. And I think Marv has a good matchup this week. So, and said, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Matt coming in said, man, see, he absolutely destroyed me this week. Should have listened to my gut and sat him for JSN. Yeah, man. He crushed me too. I mean, he had 3 drops. Like he had like 2 catches for like 38 yards in like the first 2 drives, I think. It might have even been the first drive, and then dropped multiple passes, got injured, and just never came back. So yeah, tough. I own him in a few leagues, and I started him as well. So I'm with you there. Kevin said Jonathan Smith feels like he's starting to have some consistency in this offense. What would you buy him for in Dynasty? I wouldn't pay more than a third. Unless you're like a contender that's like you like looking for a missing piece, then sure. I could see paying maybe a second, but I'd rather go throw a third rounder to Taysom Hill from somebody. I like Jonnu. I actually said that I predicted he would score at least 5 touchdowns, I think, this year. Me and Steve on the show have a bet prior to the season. So, yeah, Jonnu Smith's been phenomenal the last few weeks. And if you're a contender, yeah, I'm okay spending a third on him. And honestly, like a late 2, I could understand if you're truly a contender. You have to make sure you're evaluating your roster correctly. So, yeah, I like Jonnu Smith. Nicodemus said, I have both Hunt Pacheco. Is one or both starting? I also have Chase Brown, Taylor, Connor, Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving is a must start for me. Jonathan Taylor's frustrating, guys. I get it. It's such a good matchup for him, though, against the freaking Patriots, dude. I'm going to go with my gut and just say Bucky Irving and Taylor. I think Pacheco is the better start today over him and Hunt. But I would start Taylor and I would start Bucky Irving. If I was going to bench one, it would be Taylor just because he's inconsistency, and I would start Pacheco. But my gut is telling me Bucky Irving and Taylor. If your gut's telling you got to start one of Hunt or Pacheco, go with Pacheco and start Bucky Irving. That would be my advice. TD said, thanks. Waiting to start NWI against Jax week 14 with Dell on a bye. Yeah, I mean, he's been good, man. He's been good. Matt said, rest of the season, Locke give you hope with Neighbors. Yeah, I think he's going to pepper. Him. Now, do they switch off of Locke to go back to Tommy DeVito, who was their guy they wanted to start in the first place? Yeah, I mean, that's very possible as well, which does worry me. If Locke is the starter, though, yeah, Neighbors. I mean, Neighbors is the guy. Definitely think he's going to get the volume for sure. Oscar O said, could possibly make a video for the best defenses for the playoffs for week 16 and 17. Yeah, I actually do. I mean, I have the stashes right now for the playoffs. I mean, some of those stashes are also like their schedules are like top. They're going to be in like my top 8 for sure. Arizona Cardinals get like the Patriots. You know, there's a lot of really good matchups in there. So go into my archives, check that out, and maybe I'll make another video just for my rankings. But once it starts to get closer, maybe a week out before the playoffs start, I'll do my rankings. But it's going to take a lot of work to kind of project because things change on a week to week basis. But I like the stashes because it's like, hey, these are stashes, but I'm not ranking them yet because there's still so much more football to play. A lot can happen. Guys start to get benched because teams are out of it. Guys start making business decisions like CeeDee Lamb. Who knows? He might not even play next week. You know, I mean, they have a long time to get to their next game because of the mini bye. But you know, guys start making business decisions. So I'll probably do something. Just stay on lookout for that. Trone Force said traded Tyreek and D-Hop for Chase Brown, and now I'm ready for a playoff run. RBs are Barkley, Chase Brown, Monty, Braylon, Cup, McLaurin, JSN, Moody, Waddle. Yeah, you got a good team. Hey, Waddle's starting to pick it up a little bit. So that's encouraging. I think that's a great trade. Chase Brown has been phenomenal, and I don't mind his schedule rest of the season. So I like that a lot. Trone said McLaurin or JSN this week. Man, I feel like, you know, Terry's going up against the Titans. It wasn't a great week for him until he caught that big pass. And the week before that was the Eagles. It was another letdown. JSN's been heating up. Give me JSN this week. Yeah, give me JSN this week. I know I've had my doubts about JSN, but both have tough matchups. And right now, JSN's just been hotter and more consistent. So Dante said, thanks for the response. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. Mark coming in and said, last flex spot, DK, Debo, or BTJ. Thank you. Yeah, if Lawrence is playing, I'm going to go BTJ. If he's not playing, give me DK. Horror Fanatic Lance said Scantling, Worthy, or Vele for the Broncos. Don't worry, I am a Broncos fan, so you're in good company here. I do know. I did just get the notification that Matt Eberflus was just fired. So that is good news. If you're a Bears fan, that's finally over. So that's a good thing. But to get to this question, Scantling, Worthy, or Vele, it's between Scantling and Worthy for me. Worthy gets the Raiders. There's a lot of mouths to feed on this Chiefs offense now. All of a sudden, Worthy's been playing better. Scantling gets the Rams. Give me Scantling. He's been playing better. Worthy, he's been playing better, but it's been still inconsistent. And there's more mouths to feed. At least Scantling, like there's not a ton of guys there. Polo Goated said Burrow or Mahomes. I'm gonna ride with Mahomes this week. I like Mahomes. Marcelo said I can start too. Judy, Shakir, Myers, or Taysom Hill. Give me Taysom Hill, and then give me Khalil Shakir. Horror Fanatic said I keep Vikings defense stashed away always. Yeah, I mean Vikings defense has been good for sure. I think that's a fine stash, and then you probably just play matchups if you can carry a second defense between them. Usually, I take like the streamers. I tell people like if you can stream defenses, stream them and mix and match for those defenses that are really good that aren't droppable that you own, like the Vikings. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself to just starting them because they're a good defense, because sometimes you want to play matchups. But yeah, I mean they've been phenomenal. Caden Cook said, what about Pittman or Pacheco? This is a tough one because we don't know if Josh Downs is playing or not this week. I'm leaning that he's not. Pacheco plays today. So I'm going to go with Michael Pittman. It's risky. If you're going for upside, go with Pittman. If you're going for a safe floor, go with Pacheco. It's tough because they're playing today. But yeah. Matt said, if Downs plays, bench one. Mooney, Downs, Chubb, full PPR. I'm going to bench. It's between Mooney and Chubb. You're starting Downs for me. I know I ragged on Chubb a little bit, but I don't really love Mooney in this matchup against the Chargers. But I think it could be higher scoring. So give me Mooney in the dome. At home, Chubb playing in the cold in Denver. It just doesn't seem like he has his legs under him. I know he scored twice, but yeah. Tyler Sperry said Flus was fired according to ESPN 2 hours ago. Oh, well, I must be pretty late on it. I don't remember seeing. Well, let's see. Okay, so they just updated it though. Schefter, Rappaport, they're all coming in now saying it. So maybe he was fired earlier this morning, and the information just got out. But yeah, interesting. And Theo Johnson of the Giants is likely done for the season with a foot injury. Not sure many of you guys are starting him anyway. Key Joe said half point PPR, Cooper or Myers, pick one. Give me Jacoby Myers over Cooper this week. I know it's risky. Actually, I'll go with Cooper. I know it's going to snow, but with Dalton Kincaid down, I don't know what the news is on Keon Coleman, if he's playing or not. But give me Amari Cooper, who's getting more comfortable in this offense. Trowan said all the fantasy face-off staff is great. By far, my favorite fantasy channel. Yeah, we appreciate you, Trowan. You've been here for at least a few months, I think. I feel like I started seeing your face in here sometime in the summertime when we started to pick things up here. But yeah, really appreciate your support, man. I hope you and your family are having a good holiday. Parsonator 78 said B-Rob or Jennings half PPR flex. Or Mooney. Give me B-Rob. I just don't like Jennings this week against that defense and with the weather. Zaynard said, hello, Russell Wilson, Anthony Richardson, and then pick two between Shakir, Brian Thomas, McConkey. Thank you in advance. Yeah, I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson against the Patriots. I just think they bounce back this week, this Colts offense. They're fighting for a playoff spot. And Richardson's had some bad luck. His receivers really aren't helping him out. They're dropping a lot of passes. And then there's just been a lot of penalties that are calling stuff back. Josh Downs had I think he had 3 catches for 60 yards, and it would have hit my over in a lot of prop bets that I placed. And they all got called back for penalties last week. Tyler said Downs is week to week. I have him and I'm not starting him. Yeah, I don't think he's playing this week. I don't think he's going to play. Jared King said Taysom or McBride PPR. Give me McBride. I know Hill's been phenomenal. McBride's been awesome and consistent all season long. I think it'll be close between the two at least. That's the best I'll say, but I'm going to go with McBride. BJ said flex JT Pacheco or Pickens. Ah man, I prefer JT for the upside. I think Pacheco provides a better floor. Um, I like Pickens this week though a lot. Um, yeah, give me Pickens. Yeah, Pickens has the highest upside. So I think if I had to rank it, it'd be Pickens the highest upside, JT with a good floor with high upside, and then Pacheco feels safer. But I would start. It'd probably be between Pickens and JT for me for sure. And I think I start Pickens for the upside. I think he's got better upside. Tyler Sperry said, "Sorry, I only say that because there's 4 Bears chats celebrating on YouTube." Yeah, hey, I mean, I don't know if you're a Bears fan, Tyler, but if you are, your holiday just got a little bit better as after a bad ending yesterday. Aaron said need a DST. Okay, well, what? Give me your options and I'll help you out. Sent in another question. Said full PPR Hopkins, Disley, or Jennings. Weather in Buffalo not looking great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hopkins. I like Hopkins today. Horror Fanatic said, need to drop one. Hunt, Dobbins, or Chubb. My other running backs are Robinson, Mixon, and Aaron Jones. We got some good running backs there. If you're dropping one, I'm I don't know when Dobbins is coming back, but when he comes back, he's going to be involved. But I don't really love Nick Chubb, but I don't know what to expect with Hunt. At least Nick Chubb is going to be the RB1, so I would drop Hunt to be honest with you. Oscar said no Gray has been great the last couple weeks, or Hawkinson. Anthony seems to think Noah Gray is going to have a really big game this week. I'm still going to start Hawkinson here in this spot, but I do think Noah Gray could find the end zone today. But I prefer Hawkinson. Zendaya said, pick 2, Shakir, Brian Thomas, or Lad McConkey. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go with McConkey, and I'm going to go with Brian Thomas, especially if Trevor Lawrence is playing. We're at the 1:06 mark, guys. If you have anything else, send it in. We got about like 5 minutes left, and I'm going to get out of here. So just send whatever you got in, and then we'll head on into the sunset. Tyler said, "I'm definitely not a Bears fan. Just info for pros like you to share your opinion." Yeah. So if you want my opinion on the Bears situation, I think Ben Johnson's going there. I think they're going to pony up, and I think they're going to bring him in. Look, Caleb doesn't look comfortable, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback if they do the right thing and bring the right guy in. You see him back there. He's patting the ball. He's causing a lot of sacks, though. Last year was with Justin Fields. It was, it's all on Justin Fields. He's taking too many sacks. And then this year, it's the O-line's bad, and Caleb Williams is the problem. Like, I just think this organization needs to get the right coach in place. Eberflus should have never been back this year. I mean, talk to any Bears fan, and they would tell you there was no reason for Eberflus to have a job and still be the coach of this team. Yeah, I mean, that would be my thoughts on it. If Ben Johnson's there, I really like it. I don't think Keenan Allen's going to come back to them next year, if I had to guess that situation. So Rome Odunze, I'm expecting a nice year for him next year for year 2. All right, we got some more questions coming in. Horror Fanatic said, thanks. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for jumping in. Enjoy the holiday. Rachel said, Pacheco, Hunter, Shakir in the flex. Give me Pacheco. CZ Average said pick 2 or 3 of 3. Ramondre, Pacheco, BTJ. I think Ramondre provides the higher ceiling over Pacheco. We talked about this before. I'm gonna go with Ramondre, and I'll go with BTJ because I think Lawrence is gonna play. Aaron came back in and said, your thoughts on the Minnesota defense, currently rostering Minnesota and Pittsburgh, but considering dropping Pitt with rest of season schedule and playing the New York Jets. So Seattle plays the Jets this week. But yeah, I would hang on to Minnesota over Pittsburgh. And I would stream. Jump on the streaming train with us. We've been phenomenal. I've picked a defense under 25% owned or less every single week that's finished inside the top 9. Those that watch my video every week, I gave out the Dallas Cowboys as my favorite stream this week. They finished as the 4th ranked. Oh, I'm sorry. They were my 4th ranked defense on the week and my number 1 streamer that's 25% owned or less. And they had a phenomenal day yesterday. Do I expect the Cowboys to be great rest of the season? Absolutely not. But matchup wise, that's why we stream. So I would drop Pittsburgh and I would stash Minnesota and play the matchups with that and streaming with us. Zendaya said, "Thank you very much. Appreciate you." Yeah, thank you for coming in. Rachel said full PPR. Yes, I pulled this one already. Yes, so I said Pacheco in this situation. Tyler said, "All I want to know is Caleb was hitting head in field goal range for 30 seconds on a 35." Yeah. Okay. Listen, coaches have on their play sheets, they have game situations where they literally it'll say like, if there's a minute and 20 seconds left, you can take 3 kneels to get the game out, to run out the clock. Like there's game scenarios. To me, look, Caleb's a young quarterback on the road in Thanksgiving. A lot was going on. If I'm the coaching staff, like, I don't really understand why you don't call it timeout. Call a timeout to get the best play possible and have your field goal unit ready to go and to rush onto the field after the play to go up and set up for the field goal to tie the game. That would be that in and of itself is malpractice on the coaching staff. Yes, Caleb takes some blame. He's a young quarterback, and I know Santos, the kicker, is bad. I totally get that, but that's even more as to why they should have called a timeout and figured out the right play. When they saw that like they were scattered, they were trying to get group up together and it was taking very long to line everybody up and everything. To me, like they should have called a timeout, even after like 10 seconds when they were at like he was down at 35 seconds. If it got to 25 seconds, you should still have enough time to rush the unit onto the field. If you call one more play and rush the unit onto the field, you got to call that timeout to get the best play possible. So it was a complete disaster all around. I put most of the blame on Eberflus, but Caleb takes blame as well. Horror Fanatic said, "Will Brees Hall play?" I think he will. Matt said, "Looks like T-Law is playing, but I feel he's likely to re-injure that shoulder." Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm worried that he could get hurt again. Yeah, and Tyler, yes, Santos is not great. Aaron said, "Been watching your DST content the last few weeks. Fire, man. Great work. And appreciate your interactions on X. Happy holidays." Yeah, man. I trying to put a face to the name from X to YouTube. Appreciate you coming over to YouTube because it does help us out more than watching on X. Just keeping the lights on and doing this more. It supports us more financially on YouTube. But yeah, hit me up on Twitter so I at least can put a face to the name. And thanks for dropping in, man. Daniel said, Otten or Taysom Hill rest of season. Take a look at Otten's schedule. I mean, Caleb Williams has been phenomenal. I'm sorry, Taysom Hill has been phenomenal. I still got the Bears on my mind. I do want to take a look at Otten. Yeah, I'll call my shot. I still prefer Otten. I know Mike Evans is back. He had a tough matchup last week. I prefer Otten. Tyler said, "Yeah, I have faith he can hit." Yeah, I mean, if your kicker can't hit a 35-yard field goal, I don't know why he's on the team. He should have been able to hit that in a dome. So yeah, if you can't trust him to do that, then you got to start looking for other kickers. Oscar said, "McLaurin versus Tennessee or Thielen versus Tampa." This is closer than many would think. I am in for a Thielen game this week. Tampa's defense gives up a lot of yards to wide receivers. It's a good matchup. I'm still leaning Terry, but I think it'll be close. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I think Anthony may go live later tonight. So, feel free to pop in later tonight if you have questions or just want to say hello. We appreciate it. If you got nothing going on, not everybody has family to spend time. Not everybody has family to spend time with on the holidays. So if this, is you and you want to hang out with us, we're here. We'll be here probably tonight. And then obviously, like always, we'll be here on Sunday morning before games go on. And yeah, thank you for popping in on the holiday, and good luck today. Enjoy the day if you're off, and go get some good Black Friday deals if there's any left. Have a